This is my friend's 1954 MGTF, and it is an absolutely beautiful car. Unfortunately, I cannot drive it. I am too tall. We picked it up a while back so that we could get it back on the road and go over it, make sure that it's reliable, and so on and so forth. But I'm definitely going to have to go through the engine and see where we're at. Now I can tell you right off the bat there's going to be a cooling issue because almost every single one of these cars that have sat around has cooling problems and has so much stuff in the cooling system, it's just unbelievable. I mean, look at this. This is absolutely disgusting. I'm going to have to take all of this stuff off. So you can see right here, this thing has had leaks and all kind of stuff going on. Look at that thermostat. I mean, you're not going to get anything through that thing. It's not going to open. All this stuff has got to be cleaned up. All of it's got to be removed and taken off. But that thermostat, it's gross. And that's just as bad, if not worse. Luckily, the other half of the thermostat housing is cleared up. I've tried to say that 7 times now. So you can see on the belt where it's been leaking, and I've already started unbolting the whole radiator assembly and the grill. Couple of bolts down here, and it's out. So eventually I'm going to end up flushing this whole thing, going through it, pressurizing it, see if it leaks. It's not in the greatest shape. I really don't like using these old radiators. I'd much rather run an aluminum or something. I know that there's a controversial topic on it, but yeah, it's going back in, if it's okay. By the way, that engine to the right, the quad cam, that's from my Mitsubishi Galant project. Now it's time to take the fan, unbolt it, and pull it out, and get a lot of this stuff off the front. Coolant has been dripping everywhere. Now that the fan's off, I can start to pull off this water pump. I'm just going to end up having to take this belt off and everything before I tackle it. And I know that the water pump has the front piece that comes off, and I have to separate it. But behind the water pump, you can see where there's been other leaks. So, I mean, it's just been leaking all over the front of the engine. So this threaded rod mount here has to come out because in order to get the water pump off, it's pretty hard to get that nut right there without taking this assembly off. So you end up having to take this off right now. And you can see I've already got the other 2 bolts out of the water pump. But after finally getting this out, I can easily access that nut and the actual piece on it. So here it is. It's got these rubber pieces here that are completely shot, so I'm going to end up having to replace those as well. But yeah, I would recommend taking it out so you can get to it easier. See, then this piece comes right out and you're able to start to pull the water pump off. So don't be like me and pull the water pump off and not have a drip pan or something up under it and just watch all the water flowing out onto the floor. Alright, so these cooling passages get blocked on most of these old MGs, especially like I said, if they sat for a while. You really want to clean this out so you don't have overheating issues later on. I'm going to pull this thermocouple out here. I have no idea if it works or not. I haven't ran the car long enough to find out if it works. I could test it, and which is I probably will try to do so just to see if I can get a reading from it. So as I'm looking around this lower housing here, it's leaking also, so I decided to go ahead and take it off and replace the gasket that's there. And as you can tell, it's not horrible just in this part, but as we look into the actual head, it's not going to be the greatest. I mean, just looking at that, it looks like mud. That is not what I'd like to see. I wish that I could get in there and really get to getting some of that stuff out, but I can only do what I can on the surface area, and there are some blocked things where some stuff are blocking the passages right now. Right here to the left, you can see that this piece, there's some pieces that are in that coolant passage. Also around here, on either side, these need to be cleaned up on both sides here so coolant can flow and go around here. You can see where I cleaned the passage here and opened it up, so that channel will allow coolant to go through. And all of these pieces, the thermostat housing, the water pipes, they all need to be cleaned up. They have just got so much stuff in them. I will be cleaning them all up before I put them back on, obviously. Now that we got the water pump here, I need to get this pulley off, the top part of the pulley where the fan bolts to, before I put on the new water pump. So I have to separate it, and it's a press fit. There we go. And so this is actually after cleaning up a lot of the passages and whatnot and getting everything sorted. It's looking a lot better so far. I still haven't flushed this radiator yet. I'm going to. I just haven't gotten around to it. I'm working on other projects at the time, but I have started cleaning up some of the parts here. After I go through the cooling system, I might check and see how good the carbs are and see if this thing does run right. I know it started in the beginning of the video, but I have no idea how good they're actually tuned or sorted. Also, if you're ever curious about a TF or a TD, the headlights are integrated on the TF for the fenders, and the TDs are not. These cars are really cool looking cars. I mean, they really are. They're right before the MGA came out. These particular cars were the stopgap, as they call it. They were the successor to the TD, and then right before the MGA. One of the really cool things about this era of cars when MG was doing them is all the octagons and stuff still here in the dash. Alright, so when I went into the interior to go hit the brake pedal, I found out there's no brakes. So I decided to take the wheel off here, and I'm going to end up having to go through the brake system. You can see this is a convenient location for the oil filter. But yeah, I'm end up having to take these wheels off and check all the brakes. Clearly this says undo, so you have to hit it the right way. Alright, so now that I've got that wheel off, you can see up under here the access panels are gone on both sides, but you can get the starter fairly easily there. These things have the lever shock, and I'm going to end up going through all 4 drums on this car. The car looks great, even just in the air sitting with no wheels. They're good looking cars. They really are. I really wish I could fit. So after I do all the brake work and do the cooling stuff and put everything back together, I'm probably going to clean this thing up a good bit just so it looks a heck of a lot better than it does now. But you can see it's been sitting around with all the cobwebs and everything, and like I said, there's no telling what else I'm going to find when I go through this, but I'm just trying to make it at least reliable, be able to drive, be able to stop, steer, etc. Anyways, yeah, we'll get to the next video. We'll end up being through the brakes and whatnot, but hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you later.